Hey there, Pit Class. This is Mr. G. Now, we've been talking about technology all year, but now it's time to go a little more in depth in how it affects us. Now, last assignment, I had you go around the house and find technology that was invented after you were born, so newer technology. Now, what I want you to do here for this assignment is I want you to consider technology in a broader sense. Now, technology has been around forever. And what we're going to talk about is technology that was invented and has been used for 1,000 years or more. Now, you might think to yourself, there was no technology back then, but you got to think. Technology doesn't mean something that plugs in. Nowadays, when you talk about high tech, you talk about something that plugs in, electronics. But the thing is that high technology more has something to do with things that plug in. But technology, as far as a definition, is anything invented by man to make life easier or to help achieve or accomplish a task. So now, what kind of things can you think of that were invented by people to make life easier? Now, I'm not going to give you a bunch of examples because then I'd be doing your work for you. But I know for a fact that there are at least 10 things lying around your house that were invented at least 1,000 years ago, maybe even more, and they're still being used today. Now, these aren't things that plug in, but these are things that make life easier. Now, I'm just going to right away throw one example out. The wheel. The wheel is I guess the best example of technology that makes life easier. Before the wheel, people in tribes or living in huts somewhere in the woods or in the desert, they had to carry everything on their backs or drag them around on a sled, that kind of deal. But when the wheel came around, all of a sudden you can carry more stuff. And then after a while, I guess people figured out that using that wheel and maybe an animal, and like a horse or an ox or something like that, they could pull it. They don't even have to be the ones to pull it. They just walk right along with it. So technology comes in many shapes and forms. And around your house, I know for a fact that there are at least 10 examples of technology. Now, the technology that's around your house, like I said, doesn't all plug in. Some of it, you don't even realize that it's technology, but it was built by man to make your life easier today. All right, so let's talk about that. So walking around the house, here's a shot in my garage. You find a lot of different things that pass for tools. You got things that plug in, things that don't. And of course, you have some things that don't get used at all. We won't talk about that. So when you're looking around your house, I want you to look in every corner. There's something in that corner, and there's something here. What were these things used for? What necessity brought them about? And also, how long have they been used by people? So now one of my favorite pieces of technology is the search engine. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a piece of technology from your house that you think might be ancient. Here I decided to look for the wheel. And I want you to find examples of the wheel, not the wheel, but your technology that you found, and kind of do some research. When was it invented? Has it been around for over 1,000 years? If the answer is yes, I want you to go ahead and just look around and try and find an example of the oldest version of that thing that you can. So what I did was I went ahead and searched for when was it invented? Well, here in the case of the wheel, it was invented almost 5,000 years ago. 3500, that's 3,500 years BC. Now, BC means before Christ, before the common era. So BC, Christ was born 2,000 years ago because it's 2020. So that's a long time. So now I found out that it was from ancient Mesopotamia 3,500 years ago. That's a long time. So I take this information and I put it in one of my slides. Now this slide show or presentation PowerPoint I found just for you guys, and I've created it. I've added it to the assignment. So now all the information that I find here, I go ahead and I transfer it over to the slide. Not only am I putting how much or how long ago it was invented, but I also want you to tell me who invented it or from what area or region is it from. The wheel happens to be from Mesopotamia. I found a good picture of it. And all I had to do is right-click on the picture and paste it back into the PowerPoint. So now all of this information, super easy to find on Google. And when you do use this, I want you to do the same thing for every single slide. I want you to name the object. I want you to also state when it was invented. And then I want you to go ahead and put a brief sentence that tells me where it's from, maybe what people invented it. And now with a little movie magic, it's done. Now all you have to do is move on to the next slide and fill it with the information from what you found around your house. Well, here I go again. Now that I've told you exactly how to do the assignment, it just occurred to me that I need to tell you how to get to it. So the first thing you go to the Teams page, and then right there where it says click here, you're going to watch a video. Then you find the assignment and you click on the ellipses here and you choose Open in Teams. Now when you do it in Teams, you open it, you're going to see one that's a read only, which means you can't work on it. So what you do is you go up to the bar on the upper right side where it says Edit Assignment, and I want you to choose Open in Browser. Now you've got a perfectly fine version of the PowerPoint so that you can do it all on your own. And if you look at the top, it's got all of the things you need, the tools you need to finish this. And all you have to do is go back and forth between Teams and Chrome to be able to finish this assignment. When you're done, you close it. And up in the right corner, and mine doesn't have it, but around there, you will see Turn This In. And then you're done.